My next guest joining me today, he is the WBC Muay Thai Canadian champion and fighting on the Road to One tournament semifinals match on June 17th from my hometown of Calgary, Alberta, Cody Jerome. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself, Tim?
Oh, hanging out, the usual stuff. You know how it goes. Hey, congratulations on the big knockout win just a few months back. How'd it feel? How'd you feel in the ring? All that good stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. You know what? It felt really good. Yeah, it felt good to get the first round finish for sure. Early on in the fight, though, he clipped my ear funny, and I don't know if you know this, Tim, but you probably do because you follow me. He clipped my ear funny, and I almost had vertigo symptoms in the ring, and I couldn't see. Everything kind of went haywire, and I went down. And the funny thing was, like, I was with it, right? I was like, mentally, I was there. I wasn't rocked, but I couldn't get my bearings about me. And so I got up and I still wasn't there. And the ref said, move to the left. I moved to the left. And then he said, move to the right. I moved to the right. And I was like, holy shit, hopefully I did that. Like, frick. And fight started and I got in the clinch with him. And I was good. Like, I got my bearings about me. I was like, okay, go time. Let's get this back. I knocked him down, I think, 10 seconds after that. I got 3 knockdowns in the round. Fight's done, 3 knockdowns in one round and fight's over. So, yeah, I was pumped to get that first round knockout. It wasn't my best performance, Tim, in the world. Like, I wanted to show a lot more. And, I'm definitely going to show everything in this upcoming fight for sure. Like everything I've been working on, I want to show the fans a lot more of me. I feel like I haven't showed my best self in the ring yet. And hopefully I can do that here June 17th.
Well, we're all looking forward to it, but you getting knocked down and losing balance in it, this seemed like it may have just been a loss of equilibrium more than it was that you were about to be knocked out. Like, and has this happened before to you in any matches?
No, this is the first time this has ever happened. Exactly. Yeah, it was equilibrium. I wasn't robbed at all. None of his shots. Like I felt his shots. Definitely, he knew something happened, and he started peppering me, and I definitely felt his shots. But there was none where I was like, oh shit, like I can't take that, right?
So wait, so the fighter's attitude is always so interesting to me because I did some back in my day, like I did some amateur boxing, so I know how it feels to panic and not be able to focus in the ring. And I realize that's where like a lot of fighters excel where like a normal person can't. So how do you calm yourself down so you're not panicked? You're getting hit. Some guy's actually trying to take you out. How are you calm in the ring? It doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what? I think just experience, Tim. It's not my first time under the lights, right? I've, including my amateur career, I'm almost at 40 fights. So I've been there. I've never been stopped, but I've got the pressure put on me for sure. And I think it's also too like preparation, right? Like I got a good team behind me. I'm prepared for that, right? I'm prepared for that pressure. I'm prepared for guys to put it on me, and you need to be calm. If you're not calm under pressure, you're going to buckle, right? And you're going to lose.
Is it easier being in the ring? Like, are you nervous before the fight, leading up to it, or anything like that? Or are you just meditative the entire time?
You know what? I'm nervous all the way up until the walkout, Tim.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing. You gotta use those nerves to your advantage. There's been times back in my amateur career where I wasn't nervous and I didn't perform as well, honestly. Like I'm gonna say, like I honestly didn't perform as well when I wasn't nervous. So I think those nerves are good, right? Like, every fight is the biggest fight of your life, right? Like, well, you have to be nervous, right? There's so much on the line, right? There's so much on the line, right? If you weren't nervous, well, then it honestly does it even mean that much to you, right? Like, so this means the world to me. Winning means the world to me, right? I'm there to win, right? So of course I'm nervous, but I use those nerves to my advantage. And as soon as I make that walk, I'm zoned in. I'm ready, right?
And you're not the first fighter I've heard say that. I remember Rampage Jackson used to talk about that back in the day, and he said the fights where I wasn't nervous, I knew I was going to get beat up. The fights where I was nervous, it was like I was kind of in the zone. My body was ready for it, right? But it's a weird thing. Fighting is an odd thing anyway, because you are putting yourself in like fight or flight situations. It is a highly stressful situations. So like, I know it may not seem like it to you because you live in it, but it is superhuman to be able to calm yourself down and then go defend your life. You know what I mean? Like, am I talking crazy here?
No, for sure, Tim. I don't think there's many people that could do it. You know, I'm not talking myself up at all. Like, I just think, like, you know, fighters are less than 0.1% of the population, right? I honestly don't think most people could make that walk, right? I think that's a terrifying thought for most people.
Oh, I go aside with you, man. I've been there. I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't do it. And I realized, like, the only people who can do it are absolute freaks. But let's bring you up to date here. So for those who don't know, you're in the Road to One tournament. You've already got through the quarterfinals with a first round knockout. Now you're going to be fighting on the semifinals upcoming June 17th here in Calgary. And then the finals will be later this year. And it's for a $100,000 one championship contract. Man, how does it feel? What does this all mean to you?
You know what? It means the world to me, Tim. You know, fighting in one championship, like, that's the place to be right now, right? Like, that's where it's at. You know, I've always dreamt of fighting in an organization like one, and you know, now I have a road to get there, right? And yeah, I'm you know, I'm super excited for this upcoming fight, June 17th. You know, I fought my opponent before. I fought him last year in July. His name's Quinn Waslock. He's a good fighter. You know, I'm sure he's improved since then. I beat him. I defended my WBC title against Quinn. But yeah, much respect to him. But yeah, I'm gonna beat him again, and you know, I'm looking for that finish. And you know, after that, you know, I'm not looking past him by any means, but the final November 25th of this year, and you know, I don't really care who I face then. All I know is I'm going to get that contract, Tim, and I'm going to be in one championship in 2024.
Oh man, we're looking forward to it. In one championship in 2024, and like everything is coinciding so well because it's not just one championship out of Singapore. They're doing fights out of the historic Lumpini Arena or Lumpini Stadium. Like, imagine Cody Jerome headlining at Lumpini Stadium. Like, what does this mean to you, man?
That would be amazing, Tim. You know, I would love to fight it. I've never actually fought in Thailand before, so fighting at Lumpini on one, that would be huge. That would be massive, right? Like, that'd be a dream come true. Seriously.
Man, absolutely awesome. Now, on the flip side, it is the toughest division maybe in all of sports. We're talking about people like Eddie Abasolo. In the kickboxing side, it's Shingiz Alazov, Tawanchai in Muay Thai. Like, this is the toughest division, eh?
It's the most stacked division in kickboxing, right? Like, kickboxing and Muay Thai, the 155 division is the most stacked division right now. I think everyone would agree on that.
Yep. Doesn't matter if you're in Glory or One Championship or even going out to Infusion or, you know, even the RWS Muay Thai, 155 is the place to be. That is where the competition is happening, man.
For sure. Super exciting division. I think, you know, what makes it so exciting too is like, they're not too small. Like 155 is not too small where, you know, you don't have that power, but they're not too big where they're kind of like, you know, in the third round, they get kind of sluggish, right? It's like the perfect balance between power and cardio. And I think, yeah, the 155 division is the most exciting division for sure.
Oh, 100%. Now, are you a person who aims for the knockout win when you're in there, or is it something that just happens because you know you've done all the drills, all that sort of stuff? Or are you pushing for a knockout?
You know, if it comes to me, Tim, I'm going to take it. If I know I can get it, I'm going to take it for sure. But at the same time, I'm not chasing it, right? I'm not going to chase it. If I know that I can, and I know a lot of fans won't like to hear me say this, but if I know that I can cruise through 3 rounds or 5 rounds without taking any damage at all, and get that judge decision, well, you know, I'm probably gonna do that. But if I see that if I see that knockout, if I see that I can get it, I'm taking it. I of course I want that finish, right? And my last 3 fights have all been stoppages. So, you know, as time goes on, I'm getting more and more stoppages in my career. So, and like I said, in this fight, you know, of course I'm looking for that stoppage. But if it doesn't come, it doesn't come. But all I know is I'm going to get the win.
Oh man, we're ready for it. We're looking forward to it. Now we're just a very short time away, June 17th. How was training in Calgary with all the smoke going on? That really does change everything.
Now, like, so I'm in Lethbridge, Tim. I'm about 2 hours to the south.
Oh yeah, I played lacrosse in Lethbridge. Don't worry, I know about Lethbridge.
Yeah.
We're
You're
that city.
so you're from Calgary then?
No, I'm from Cranbrook originally.
You're from Cranbrook. Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Yeah, it's just easier to be like, because I live on the other side of the world. Then it was like, yeah, I'm from Calgary, and people out here in Scotland are like, is that near Vancouver? And I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah. I guess. I'm not gonna say Cranbrook. You know how it is. That's why you say Calgary as well.
For sure. But yeah, the smoke down here was pretty bad for a couple of weeks. Yeah. But honestly, it didn't affect me too much in training or anything. I know it affected some people, but it definitely didn't affect me. But now it's all cleared up. There's no smoke. Skies are blue. So
awesome. So tell us, how was training coming into this fight? How was everything feeling?
It's been a long camp. It's been over 8 weeks. So I feel really good. I'm in tip top shape. Best shape of my life for sure. Best shape I've ever been in. I'm really excited. I'm ready to perform, Tim. Honestly, I could fight tomorrow, but gotta wait till June 17th, and I'm going to be even more ready.
Man, we are looking forward to it. Game plan, and what is your prediction for the end of this fight?
I don't want to give away my game plan, Tim, but there's lots of stuff I've been working on just specifically for this fight. My coaches, Connor Derry and Brad Wall, we've developed a really good game plan, I think, for Quinn. We've been in the ring with him before, so we kind of know what to expect. I honestly, much respect to Quinn, but I honestly don't think he has the same tools as me. I don't think he has the ability to adapt. I think he's pretty one-dimensional, but it works for him. Don't get me wrong. His style works for him. But we've developed a game plan for his style specifically, and I'm excited to show it. And if you want to have me back on after the fight, we can go over it. But right now I'm gonna keep the game plan to myself. But June 17th, you're gonna see.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it. Now, you're from Canada originally, like myself. I know that you and I had way more exposure to MMA. So what turned you into a person who was more interested into Muay Thai and kickboxing?
Yeah, so my first fight when I was 16, I just turned 16, was a modified Muay Thai fight. And then after that, I really enjoyed it, right? I loved the stand-up during that time. But I was like, okay, everyone's doing MMA. Yeah. So I'm going to go try this. Let's go try the ground. Let's go try wrestling and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And honestly, I couldn't stand it. I just wasn't engaged. The jiu-jitsu, I was like, man, it's not the same for me as striking, right? I just had such a hard time learning because I just didn't enjoy it, right? Yeah. But I did end up having 3 MMA fights after that Muay Thai fight. And I went 2-1 as an amateur, but and I actually got a submission too. I got a rear naked choke in one of them, but I was like, you know what? I don't enjoy this. Why am I doing this? Right? Seriously, I'm not going to be exceptional at this if I don't like it, right? You have to love something to be exceptional at it. And I was just like, I'm going back. I'm going to kickboxing, and I'm going to stay there, right? And during that time too, there wasn't a whole lot in Canada as far as kickboxing and Muay Thai goes. Well, as there wasn't a career path, I should say. There was local fights around and stuff, but there wasn't. There was no Road to Ones, or the WBC wasn't around, or Muay Thai World Cup wasn't around, right? There was no pro show. So there wasn't a huge career path, right? So, I took kind of a gamble, I think, choosing that, but that's what I loved. And I just stuck to it. And, thankfully everything came together here in Canada, and the sport is really growing now. Thanks to Kieran Kettle, he came over to Canada and he started the Muay Thai World Cup. And ever since then, Muay Thai and kickboxing has grown exponentially in this country. I actually can't believe it. I'm so happy to see it get to where it's at right now.
Dude, and you're not kidding about that. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, please.
Sorry. Yeah. I think it's just going to keep growing, Tim. Now I think, these young up and comers, they see that career path now, and they see this Road to One, they see the WBC, they see the green belt, right? And they see how big Muay Thai World Cup's getting. I think they're going to choose kickboxing. More and more kids are going to choose kickboxing and Muay Thai now over the other combat sports. I could be wrong, but that's what I think that's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, and to put it into perspective of how kickboxing and Muay Thai was not a thing in Canada. We had MMA, we had Cage Rage and King of the Cage on TSN. It was on prime time, and it wasn't even the UFC.
Yeah.
Muay Thai and kickboxing was illegal in most provinces until just a few years ago. Like, I think it's still illegal in places like Quebec and maybe Ontario. So, like, you're not kidding of, like, just in the last few years, it's become a viable thing where it absolutely was not before, right?
For sure. I think, it just got legalized in BC,
Yeah.
like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
I think it's still illegal in Ontario. Like professional Muay Thai and kickboxing is illegal in like Quebec and Ontario. I think they can do amateur shows, I believe. But yeah, Manitoba, I think it's still illegal. So, we still have a long way to go here. But
man, who'd want to fight in Manitoba? If someone offered you a contract for Winnipeg, just like, no, I'm gonna fight Winnipeg. No,
I've never been there, Tim, so I'm not too sure. Like, yeah.
No, we got to make fun of the other towns in Canada. We got to make fun of Edmonton and Winnipeg, or else they're going to make fun of us too much.
Yeah.
So you have the Forged Irish Stout. Okay, tell me about the origin here. Where did the name come from? Tell me everything I need to know about this.
So my manager, actually, he's involved in it. Connor Derry, he's involved in he's in business with them here in Canada. I'm not too sure how much he wants me to say, because it's not officially available till I think September, I think. Okay. So but yeah, he's the one that got me with them. And I'm excited to partner with Forged. I'm pumped to partner with Forged. I think they're a great company, and obviously Conor McGregor is the one who started it all. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, I'm excited to partner with Forged for sure.
Absolutely. And I believe that you can get their t-shirts through is it the Fighters First Network, correct? The one that we're on right now. You can get some good stuff through there, correct?
Yes, Fighters First. They're producing all my apparel now, which is awesome. I'm extremely happy to be with them. So far everything's been absolutely great. The designs they make and everything, like top level. The shirt quality is top level. Yeah, and Forged Irish Stout is going to be on my walkout shirt. That shirt is available for purchase on Fighters First. So yeah, it's a sweet looking shirt, and you can get it there.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I've got some of the Fighters First stuff for like friends and family and stuff like that, and they've commented on the quality of shirts as well. So they're well worth checking out. Link will be down below. But I wanted to ask you as well, who were some of your biggest inspirations in combat sports? Like, are we talking some Ernesto Hosts, George St. Pierre, I would assume is up there, but who were some of the fighters you really looked up to?
I never watched MMA that much, Tim. So I never really watched many of George's fights. Of course, I heard of him, right? He's a celebrity up here in Canada, right?
Of course.
But I never watched a ton of his fights. I never watched a whole lot of MMA. But when I first started, I really watched Nicky Holtzkin. I was like, wow, like that guy is freaking sick. Like, his fight with Joe Valtellini, that was a classic. Like that's a legendary fight, right?
Yes.
So yeah, Holtzkin, I just like this style, like this come forward style. I like that Dutch style, jab, cross, body hooks, low kicks, like just a fun guy to watch overall. And he's still fighting to this day, right? He's still fighting at a high level at, what is he, like 40 years old? So that's pretty impressive.
Oh man, the weird thing is, like, you might be fighting him next year, kind of thing. Like this, what an insane thing, fighting your childhood hero.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome. Yeah. For sure.
Nicky Holtzkin is an absolute legend of the game. Hopefully we'll get him in for an interview at some point soon. So we'll get him in. So you're watching Nicky Holtzkin, like at the time, was it on Spike TV, that glory era, or were you watching it on online highlights? How were you connecting with the sport?
No, I was just watching online highlights, Tim. Like I was young. I can't even remember what I honestly watched. And I think it was just online highlights. I think it was just YouTube. Yeah. And like before I started fighting, I didn't know anything about fighting. Honestly, like nothing. Like I heard of like, Mike Tyson, of course, and, some of the old school like boxers and stuff. But I wasn't really, like, I watched Rocky, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone's seen Rocky, but that's about it. And when I started fighting, when I started training, that's when I went and looked at all these guys and, seen guys like Holtzkin. Who else? Mm-hmm. Like Badr Hari,
of course,
K1 Max, all those guys. But Badr Hari in particular, like, wow, like what a fun guy to watch. Like, just an absolute savage, especially during that time, right? And still is to this day. But like, wow.
Oh yeah, and Badr is one of those ones that just makes you think. Like, so Nicky Holzken, for example, I feel like I can watch his stuff and I can sometimes emulate it on the pads, kind of thing. Watching Badr Hari, that's when I'm like, I can't do that. This is incredible stuff. The kind of combinations, you're just like a furious whirlwind, and I can't do any of that, right? Badr Hari is just incredible.
Just like a tornado. It's just wild. He's wild. Like, I would never want to fight like that, right? Because he'll take one to give one, right? Like, it doesn't matter to him. You know, someone's going down in Badr's fights, right? Like, whether it be him or his opponent, but someone's going down. Usually it's not going 3 rounds or 5 rounds.
Oh man, just absolutely awesome stuff. But yeah, I think people underestimate how important for guys like us some of those early YouTube highlight reel videos were, because there wasn't like you and I wouldn't have watched much TV growing up, but there was tons of highlights on YouTube for the early K1 Max, like you were saying. But yeah, so where can we watch the fight at the Grey Eagle Casino? We can get this fight online, correct?
You can get this fight online. I believe it's HN Live. It's called, Tim. Okay. The link is on my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay. So yeah, you can purchase the pay-per-view, or if you live close to Calgary, you can come to it live at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Oh man, let's keep rounding you out as a person. We always ask the same questions to people, just figure them out as a little bit more. So the next questions are pretty general. They're not direct, and you can just say, "Oh, I have no clue," or "I have no preference." But what about favorite video games?
You know, I was never. I shouldn't say this, Tim. When I was like 14, 15, I went through a big video game phase. Okay. And that was pretty much the only time in my life where I really played video games. And I played Call of Duty. Like, did you ever play Zombies?
Oh. Yeah, of course, man. It was the best.
What was that? What was that game called? Though? Call of Duty, was it Black Ops that had the zombies?
Okay, if I remember correctly, there was a World at War was the first one, and then I think it was a Modern Warfare 2, and then I think the Black Ops was just after that, and it had a zombies feature as well. But there was a weird period where there was way too many Call of Duties, and I can't keep track of the names, but I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
You're right. There was the World at War, and I think that was Call of Duty 5, and then Black Ops, Call of Duty 7, and that's where it had all like the sick maps and stuff. And you remember that map? I think it was Call of the Dead. Remember that? His name was George. He was walking around with a big axe or something.
Yeah. It was the best.
That was such a fun game. I would stay up till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every night during school nights and play that game with my friends. And we just had a blast.
Man, those were the days. You just had nothing to stress about. Playing Call of Duty with my friends. Were you a midnight release kind of guy? Would you line up at EB Games for those ones?
No, I wasn't that hardcore for sure, but
oh man, I don't believe it. I think you were that hardcore.
I was pretty hardcore, Tim, but I wasn't lining up. No, I'd wait a week or two and get it.
Man, Call of Duty was the right place to be. But what about sports? What other sports did you play growing up? Because I believe you come from quite a sports family. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I played hockey.
Yeah, of course.
Before I started kickboxing. Yeah, my dad played hockey. He played in the WHL actually. My brother. Still plays hockey to this day. He played in the WHL, and now he plays down south. Plays pro hockey down south in Carolina. And I played hockey till I was about 15. And just honestly, Tim, it wasn't for me. Like, I enjoyed it when I was young, but when I reached that age, I was like, again, it was like the same thing with like jiu-jitsu, right? It was like, why am I doing this? I don't enjoy this, right? It's just a waste of time. This is a waste of my parents' time. Like. Yeah, but it's time to leave this sport. And then that's what got me into kickboxing, right? Because I had nothing else to do. Like I was a competitive kid, right? Like I needed something, right? Yeah. And I joined the local kickboxing gym here called PFA, and that's actually the gym that I'm still at to this day, which is pretty cool. And I didn't really want to be a fighter right away. I just wanted to, try it, dabble with it a little bit. And after 3 months of training, my coach asked me, he's like, do you want to take a kickboxing fight, a modified Muay Thai fight? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. And then after that, I was just completely hooked. So that's how my career started.
So coming from an extreme hockey family, what were their reactions to you getting into kickboxing?
My dad was a big fighter in the WHL.
Nice.
So so he thought it was pretty cool. right?
All right.
He's always liked fighting. So yeah, he thought it was pretty cool. My mom, on the other hand, she was a little skeptical. It took her a while to warm up to it, and still to this day, she has a hard time watching the fights. She comes to the events, but she, like, when the actual fight's going on, she like paces back and forth. She just gets so nervous, right? And when the fight's done, she's just so relieved. When she sees my hand raised and stuff, she's like, "Oh, thank goodness," right? But yeah, my dad liked it right away, and of course he still gets nervous, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very thankful for both my parents. They both supported me hugely throughout my career. Honestly, I couldn't have got to this level without them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Big thanks to the Jerome family for getting you here to this spot. It's been an important one. And to round you out as well, what are you listening to right now, or what is the most important artist of your lifetime?
Artist. Like singer?
Whatever you're into, any kind of music you're into.
Any kind of music. I like a little bit of everything, Tim. I like country. I like a little bit of rap, hip hop. I like a little bit of everything. There's not one person in particular that I can really think of. Yeah, honestly, Tim, there's not one artist I can particularly name that I absolutely love. But yeah, I like a little bit of everything for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I can see us being a bit of a country boy considering where we're from. Are you a Stampede guy? Do you go to Stampede, or have you just gone once and that's more than enough for you?
I've went once. I went once when I was younger. That was enough for me. Yeah.
You're not going to Stampede grounds for a party. You're not going to Cowboys. You're not going to National on 17th. This is what I'm hearing.
No, it's not my scene. It's definitely not my scene. But I like country. And the funny thing was too, like when I was younger, I hated country. I hated country music. But like I was always in the country. Like, I've always been around hunting and fishing, and I still fish to this day. I love fishing. But yeah, I hated the music. Then all of a sudden, like I think when I was like 19, 20, it just like hit me. I was like, man, this is awesome. I love country music. Like, it was so weird. Just yeah.
In Lethbridge, did you learn square dancing or line dancing in school too?
I didn't. No.
Man, they made us learn square dancing. But so are you into line dancing now to country music?
Oh no, that would not be pretty, Tim. That would definitely not be pretty. I wouldn't even attempt that.
It's all fight motion, man. You can do it. If you can do footwork in a fight, you can dance, I bet.
Maybe, but I don't know. It might be pretty ugly.
So I did see that you're doing a ton of hunting and fishing right now, and those fish are looking good. But I like coming from that region. Where are you heading over to? Are you heading to the Kootenays? Are you driving even further than that? Or are you just in the national park? Like, where do you kind of do your main fishing areas?
All over southern Alberta, Tim, and yeah, in the East Kootenays too. My uncle actually has a ranch out in the East Kootenays, by a Skookumchuck. I don't know if you know where that is. You know where Skookumchuck is?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like a blink of an eye of a town. But he's got a ranch out there, and my girlfriend and I go and stay out there, a few times a year, and we fish out there pretty hard. And yeah, there's good fishing all over southern Alberta, like the Waterton area, Pincher Creek area.
Oh.
Yeah, some pretty nice areas around here. We're pretty fortunate to have all this up here. But the fishing's great.
I think that's what I miss most about moving from like the Kootenay region, Calgary, southern Alberta region to the UK is that like in the southern Alberta and East Kootenays, you can walk 20 minutes in any direction and you'll be at a pristine, beautiful lake, and there's no one else. You'll be the only person there that entire day. Especially like the Waterton region. It's unreal that all of that is in your backyard.
Oh, for sure. We're so lucky. Like, I'm so lucky to live where I live, and within an hour drive, like I have so many lakes and rivers, to go to, and yeah, if you're an outdoorsman, this is definitely the place to be.
Absolutely. When you make it big and you're a world champion kickboxer, are you going to be moving to the Netherlands, or are you a Southern Alberta guy for life?
I'm a Southern Alberta guy for life, Tim. I love this place. I love my home. I'll definitely visit the Netherlands. I've never actually been there. I'd love to go there. I'd love to check it out. That's always a place that I wanted to go. But I love Canada. I love BC. I love Alberta. I love the mountains. I love the prairies. I love everything about this place. So yeah, I'm definitely here for life. But I'll definitely go visit.
Absolutely. You're repping the country. You're repping the hometown. I absolutely love to see it. What advice would you give to others who are maybe now looking up to you a little bit more, or who are just starting out in the sport? What advice would you give to these people?
Just work hard, be relentless. That's what I'm going to say. Like, be relentless. If you're going to choose to do this, be relentless in your pursuit, right? Train hard, you know, dedicate your life to it. If this is what you want, if you want to be a champion, dedicate your life to it. Ditch the parties, train hard, eat good, sleep good, you know, do everything you do in your day should be, about it should be bettering you towards your goal. That's what I'm going to say. Like, and that means like every bit of food that goes in your mouth, like is it making you better or is it making you worse? Right. Or like even like staying up watching Netflix till 4 o'clock in the morning. Is that making you better or is it making you worse? It's probably making you worse, right? So, go to bed early, eat better, train hard, and just be relentless.
Man, it's being a professional athlete. It's a full-time job. You're not doing it 6 weeks leading up to a fight. You're living the life full time, right, Cody?
Yeah, this is a lifestyle, Tim. I'm the type of guy that that goes all in. I'm definitely all in. And I think to be the best, you have to be all in, right? Like I practice what I preach. I can say I'm definitely relentless in my pursuit of my goal. My diet's good, my sleep's good. I train hard every day, twice a day. I take Sundays off. I can honestly say I practice what I preach, and I live this every day of the year. Of course, I have to enjoy myself too, right? You have to enjoy yourself. I'm not saying, you can't have an off meal once in a while and stuff, and you can't stay up late with your friends once in a while, right? But you just got to be consistent, and most days, be about it.
Yeah. Man, absolutely. Love to hear it. Absolutely love to hear it. Now, look into the future a little bit for me. And this is your last question, and then we'll do an ad read and get out of here. But look into the future a little bit here. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where do you envision yourself? How do you see yourself?
So, Tim, my main goal right now, my long-term goal is to be the one championship champion. I want that belt, right? And we have a lot of work to do to get there, for sure. But that's definitely my long-term goal. And that's where I see myself. I see myself having that belt and being one of the biggest stars in the sport, representing, Canada. I think I'll be the first ever, one champion in Muay Thai or kickboxing from Canada. So that's where I want to be, Tim.
We got Jonathan DeBella. Don't forget about our friend Jonathan DeBella, all of our best friend.
Oh, did he capture the belt?
He did. Yeah. He's
okay. My bad, Tim.
No. I didn't want to leave DeBella left out. He watches my stuff, so he'll know.
Okay. Yeah. My bad. But yeah, that's where I see myself, Tim, in 5 years. I want that one championship belt, and I want to be the biggest star that's ever came out of North America. When someone mentions kickboxing and Muay Thai in Canada or anywhere else in the world for that matter, I want them to know my name. I want my name to come to mind before anyone else's.
And name, that next step, Cody Jerome, June 17th, the Road to One tournament. You can watch it. If you're in town, check out at the Grey Eagle Casino. Otherwise, we will have the links down below for where you can watch it. But Mr. Jerome, please talk us on out of here. Shout out who you need to shout out. Thank who you need to thank. Links will be down below for the fighters for a shop where you can get all of Cody Jerome's lovely gear and everything else that you need. But Cody, please, last word goes to you, sir.
Big shout out to my sponsors. Of course, Exteriors by Leroy and Darcy, Forged Irish Stout, Machine Metals, my gym, Progressive Fighting Academy, my coaches, Brad Wall, Connor Derry, who's also my manager and training partner, my teammates at Progressive Fighting Academy, and all my family, all my supporters. Thank you all. You guys are a huge motivation, for me to keep excelling in this sport. So yeah, thank you everyone. You guys know who you are. And thank you for having me on, Tim. I really appreciate it.
Man, thank you so much and best of luck, sir.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Have a good day.